Good morning, everyone. Today, date is 16th November 2022 and day is Wednesday. Today, we are going to read from the book Tamil Nadu Textbook, Subject History, Higher Secondary, First Year. So, let's start. Lesson 2, Prehistoric India and the Harappan Culture. The history of human settlements in India goes back to prehistoric times. No written records are available for the prehistoric period. However, plenty of archaeological remains are found in different parts of India to reconstruct the history of this period. They include the stone tool, pottery, artificial and metal implement used by prehistoric people. The development of archaeology helps much to understand the life and culture of the people who lived in this period. In India, the prehistoric period is divided into the Paleolithic Old Stone Age, Mesolithic Middle Stone Age, Neolithic New Stone Age, and the Metal Age. However, these periods were not uniform throughout the Indian subcontinent. The dating of the prehistoric period is done scientifically. The technique of radiocarbon dating is commonly used for this purpose. It is based on measuring the loss of carbon in organic materials over a period of time. Another dating method is known as dendrochronology dating method. It refers to the number of tree ring in woods. By counting the number of tree rings in the wood, the date of the wood is arrived at. Paleolithic or Old Stone Age. The Old Stone Age sites are widely found in various parts of Indian subcontinent. These sites are generally located near water source. Several rock shelters and caves used by the Paleolithic people are scattered across the subcontinent. They are lived rarely in huts made of leaves. Some of the famous sites of Old Stone Age are India are A. The Son Valley and the Potwar Plateau on the northwest India. B. The Shivalik Hills on the north India. C. Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh. D. Adamgarh Hills in Narmada Valley. E. Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh. F. Attirampakkam near Chennai. In the Old Stone Age, food was obtained by hunting animals and gathering edible plants and tubers. Therefore, these people are called as hunter-gatherers. They used stone tools, hand-sized and flagged of large pebbles for hunting animals. Stone implements are made of a hard rock known as quartzite. Large pebbles are often found in river terrains. The hunting of large animals would have required the combined effort of a group of people with large stone axes. We have little knowledge about their language and communication. Their way of life became modified with the passage of time since they made attempt to domesticated animals make crude pots, and grow some plants. A few old Stone Age paintings have also been found on rock at Bhimbetka and other places. The period before 10,000 BC is assigned to the Old Stone Age. Mesolithic or Middle Stone Age. The next stage of human life is called Mesolithic or Middle Stone Age, which falls roughly from 10,000 BC to 6,000 BC. It was the transitional phase between the Paleolithic Age and Neolithic Age. Mesolithic remains are found in Langaganj in Gujarat, Adamgarh in Madhya Pradesh, and also in some places in Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Bihar. The painting and engravings found at the rock shelters give an idea about the social life and economic activities of Mesolithic people. In the sites, the Mesolithic age, a different type of stone tool is found. These are tiny stone artifact of often not more than 5 centimeters in size and therefore called microliths. The hunting gathering pattern of life continues during this period. However, there seems to have been a shift from big animal hunting to small animal hunting and fishing. The use of bow and arrow also began during this period. Also, there began a tendency to settle for longer period in an area. Therefore, domestication of animals, horticulture, and primitive cultivation started. Animal bones are found in these sites, and these include dog, deer, boar, and ostrich. Occasionally, burials of the dead along with some microlithics and cells seems to have been practiced. Neolithic age. A remarkable progress is noticed in human civilization in the Neolithic age. It is approximately dated from 6000 BC to 4000 BC. Neolithic remains are found in various parts of India. These include the Kashmir Valley, Chirand in Bihar, Belan Valley in Uttar Pradesh, and in several places of the Deccan. The important Neolithic sites excavated in South India are Maski, Brahmagiri, Hallur, and Kodekal in Karnataka, Payampalli in Tamil Nadu, and Utnur in Andhra Pradesh. The chief characteristics features of the Neolithic culture are the practice of agriculture, domestication of animals, polishing of stone tools, and the manufacture of poultry. In fact, the cultivation of plants and domestication of animals led to the emergence of village communities based on sedentary life. There was a great improvement in technology of making tools and other equipment used by man. Stone tools were now polished. The polished axes were found to be more effective tool for hunting and cutting trees. Mud brick houses were built instead of grass hut. Wheel were used to make pottery. Pottery was used to cooking as well as storage of food grains. Large urns were used as coffins for the burial of the dead. There was also improvement in agriculture. Wheat, barley, rice, millet were cultivated in different areas at different point of time. Rice cultivation was extensive in eastern India. Domestication of sheep, goat and cattle was widely prevalent. Cattle were used for cultivation and the transport. The people of Neolithic age used cloth made of cotton and wool. Metal Age. The Neolithic period is followed by Paleolithic copper stone period where copper and bronze came to be used. The new technology of smelting metal ores and crafting metal artifacts is an important development in human civilization, but the use of stone tool was not given up. Some of the microlithic tools continued to be essential items. People began to travel for a long distance to obtain metal ores. These led to the network of Chalcolithic culture, and the Chalcolithic cultural were found in many parts of India. Generally, Chalcolithic culture had grown in river valleys. Most importantly, the Harappan culture is considered as the part of Chalcolithic culture. In South India, the river valley of the Godavari, Krishna, Tungabhadra, Pennar and Kaveri were settled by farming communities during this period. Although they were not using metal in beginning of the Metal Age, there is evidence of copper and bronze artifact by the end of second millennium BC. Several bronze and copper objects, beads, terracotta figurines and pottery were found at Payampalli in Tamil Nadu. The Chalcolithic age is followed by Iron Age. Iron is frequently refers to the Vedas. The Iron Age of the Southern Peninsula is often related to megalithic burials. Megalith means large stone. The burial pits were covered with these stones. Such graves are extensively found in South India. Some of the important megalith sites are Hullur and Maski in Karnataka, Nagarjunkonda in Andhra Pradesh, and Adi Channalur in Tamil Nadu. Black and red pottery, iron artifact such as horse and sickles and small weapons were found in burial pits. The Harappa civilization. The earliest excavations in the Indus Valley were done at Harappa in the West Punjab and Mohenjo-daro in Sindh. Both places are now in Pakistan. The findings in those two cities brought the light a civilization. It was first called the Indus Valley Civilization, but this civilization was later named as the Indus Civilization due to the discovery of more and more sites far away from the Indus Valley. Also, it has come to be called the Harappan Civilization after the name of its first discovered sites. Important sites. Among the many other sites excavated, the most important are Kotdiji in Sindh, Kalibangan in Rajasthan, Rupar in Punjab, Banawali in Haryana, Lothal, Surkotda, and Dholavira. All the three in Gujarat. The larger cities are approximately 100 hectares in size. Mohenjo-daro is the largest of all the Indus cities, and it's estimated to have spread over an area of 200 hectares. Origin and evolution. The archaeological findings excavated from the last 8 decades reveal the gradual development of the Harappan culture. There are four important stages or phases of evolution, and they are named as pre-Harappan, early Harappan, mature Harappan, and late Harappan. The pre-Harappan stage is located in eastern Baluchistan. The excavation at Mehergarh, 150 miles to the northwest of Mohenjo-daro, revealed the existence of pre-Harappan culture. In these stages, the nomadic people began to lead a settled agricultural life. In the early Harappan stage, the people lived in large villages in the plains. There was a gradual growth of towns in the Indus Valley. Also, the transition from rural to urban life took place during this period. This site of Ambri and Koddizi remains the evidence for early Harappan stage. In the mature Harappan stage, great cities emerged. The excavation of Kalibangan, with its elaborate town planning and urban features, proved this phase of evolution. In the late Harappan stage, the decline of the Indus culture started. The excavation at Lothal revealed the stage of evolution. Lothal, with its fort, was found much later. It was surrounded by a massive brick wall as flood protection. Lothal remained an emporium of trade between the Harappan civilization and the remaining part of India as well as Mesopotamia. Date of Harappan culture. In 1931, Sir John Marshall estimated the duration of the occupation of Mohenjo-daro between 3250 and 2750 BC. Subsequently, as and when new sites were discovered, the dating of Harappan culture is modified. The advance of the radiocarbon method paves way to fixing almost accurate dates. By 1956, Fair Service brought down the dating of Harappan culture to between 2000 and 1500 BC on the basis of radiocarbon dates of his finding. In 1964, D.P. Agrawal came to the conclusion that the total span of the culture should be between 2300 and 1750 BC, yet there is further scope of modification of these dates. Salient feature of the Harappan culture: town planning. The Harappan culture was distinguished by the system of town planning on the line of the grid system, that is, streets and lanes cutting across and another amongst at right angles, thus dividing the cities into several rectangular blocks. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, and Kalibangan each had its own citadel building on the high podium of mud brick. Below the in each city lays a lagoon containing brick house which were inhabited by the common people. The large scale used to burn brick is almost all kind of constructions, and the absence of stone buildings are the important characteristics of the Harappan culture. Another remarkable feature was the underground draining system connecting all houses to the street drain, which was covered by stone slabs or bricks. The most important public place of Mohenjo-daro is the Great Bath, measuring 39 feet length, 23 feet breadth, and 8 feet depth. Flights to step at either end lead to the surface. There are side rooms for changing clothes. The floor of the bath was made of burned brick. Water was drawn from a large well in the adjacent room, and an outlet from the corner of the bath led to the drain. It must have served as ritual bathing site. The largest building in Mohenjo-daro is a granary measuring 150 feet length and 50 feet breadth, but in the citadel of Harappa we find as many as 6 granary. Economic life. There was a great progresses in all spheres of economy activities such as agriculture, industry and craft and trade. Wheat and barley were the main crop grown besides sesame, mustard and cotton. Surplus grain is stored. The granary animals like sheep, goats and buffalo were domesticated. The use of horse is not yet firmly established. A number of other animals were hunted for food, including deer. A specialized group of artisans includes goldsmith, brick makers, stone cutters, weavers, boat builders, and terracotta manufacturers. Bronze and copper vessels are the outstanding example of Harappan metal craft. Gold and silver ornament are found in many places. Pottery remains plain, and in some places red and black painted pottery is found. Beads were manufactured from a wide variety of semi-precious stone. Internal trade was extensive with other part of India. Foreign trade was mainly conducted with Mesopotamia, Afghanistan and Iran. Gold, copper, tin and several semi-precious stones were important. Main export were several agriculture products such as wheat, barley, peas, oilseed and a various of variety finished product including cotton goods, pottery, beads, terracotta figures and ivory products. There is much evidence to prove the trade link between the Indus and Sumatran people. Many seals of Indus Valley have been found in Mesopotamia. Trade was the barter type. The seal and the terracotta model of the Indus Valley reveal the use of bullock cart and oxen for land transport and boats and ships for river and sea transport. Social life. Much evidence is available to understand the social life of Harappans. The dress of both men and women consisted two pieces of clothes, one upper garment and the other lower garment. Beads were worn by men and women. Jewelry such as bangles, bracelets, fillet, girdles, ankles, earrings and finger rings were worn by women. These ornaments were made of gold, silver, copper, bronze and semi-precious stones. The use of cosmetic were common. Various household articles made of pottery, stone, shells, ivory and metal have been found at Mohenjo-daro. Spindles, needles, comb, fishhook, knives are made of copper. Children's toys including Little clay cart, marble balls, and dice were used for games. Fishing was the regular occupation, while hunting and bullfighting were other pastime. There were numerous specimens of weapons of war such as axes, spearheads, bows, arrows made of copper and bronze. Art. The Harappan sculpture reveal a high degree of workmanship, figures of men and women, animals and birds made of terracotta, and carving on the seal show the degree of proficiency attains. Picture the figure of a dancing girl from Mohenjo-daro made of bronze is remarkable for its workmanship. Its right hand rests on hip, while the left arm covered with bangles hands loosely in the relaxed position. Two stone statues from Harappa, one represents the back view of man and the other are also sculpture. The pot from Harappa is another specimen of the fine art of the Indus people. The pot and jars were painted and various designs of colors. Painted pottery is the better quality. The pictorial motifs consistent of geometrical pattern like horizontal lines, circles, leaves, plants and trees. On some pottery pieces we find figure of fishes and peacock. Script. The Harappan script has still to be the full decipher. The number of signs is between 400 and 600, of which 40 or 60 are basics and rest of the are various variant. The script was mostly written from right to left. In a few long seal, the Bostra-Foden method, writing in the reverse direction is alternative lines, was adopted. Perpola and the Scandinavian Collegius came to the conclusion that the language of Harappan was Dravidian. A group of Soviet scholars accept this view. Other scholars provide different view connected to the Harappan script with the Brahmi. The mystery of the Harappan script still exists, and there is no doubt that the decipherment of Harappan script will throw much light on culture, religion. From the seal, terracotta, fingering, and the copper table, we get an idea on the religious life of Harappans. The chief male deity was Pasupati. Proto-Shiva represented in seal as sitting in a yogic posture with 3 faces and 2 horns. He is surrounded by 4 animals: elephant, tiger, rhino and buffalo, each facing a different direction. 2 deer appears on his feet. The chief female deity was the mother goddess, represents in terracotta figures. In later times, linga worship was prevalent. Trees and animals were also worshipped by the Harappans. They believe in ghosts and evil forces and use much amulet as protection against them. Burial method. The cemeteries discovered around the cities like Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Kalibangan, Lothal and Rupar threw lights on the burial practice of the Harappans. Complete burial and post-cremation burial were popular at Mohenjo-daro. At Lothal, the burial pit was lined with burnt brick, indicating the use of coffins. Wooden coffins were also found at Harappa. The practice of pot burial is found at Lothal, sometime with pair of skeleton. However, there is no clear evidence for the practice of sati. Decline of Harappan culture. There is no unanimous view pertaining to the cause for the decline of Harappan culture, various theories have been postulated. Natural calamity like recurring flood, drying up to the rivers, decreasing fertility of the soil due to the excessive exploitation, and occasional earthquake might have been caused the decline of the Harappan cities. According to some scholars, the final blow was delivered by the invention of Aryans. The destruction of fort is mentioned in Rig Vedas. Also, the discovery of human skeletons huddled together at Mohenjo-daro indicates that the city was invaded by foreigners. The Aryan had superior weapons as well as swift horses with might, such enable them to become master of the region.